I can be doing, considering, as I said, we're on 3 wheels, is start putting a bit of WD-40 on some of the parts I know that are going to be an utter ball ache to remove. And this I tried and started moving, so I said, you know what, I'll actually just video this. So that is a crusty grease nipple. So we'll have to get him working as well. Crusticus maximus, Latin name. But now, at least, we have a hole there that we can start. I might give that a poke first with my pick, because I say that's full of every form of dirt you can imagine in there. I want to get this to do its job. I'm just going to keep filling this over the next few days. I'm going to leave it here. Oh, big gap, yeah. That's pushing out a bit of dirt. This is where I might drag up my mat. Very handy. Working on the front axis or rear axis, you can let all the stuff in the world you drip down on it. And those pins going through there, that one's definitely not going to come out, but I'm hoping the one at the front will. When I take out all of this, I'll be able to get it out. Okay, so that's that side there. We have the grease nipple there. We'll try the other side as well, since we're at it. It's a little bit harder to get in the other side because of the battery tray. But it is there, so you'll just be able to just about make it out there. Get the camera to focus on it. I'm probably better off trying it from the back here. 5/16, so in around 7, 8, so it's 7 with 5/16. And this, strangely enough, is coming out as well. Okay. There we go. And the paint's coming off that there, so we'll try and get him working as well. Pick, we'll run him in first, try and clean everything up. Help that oil get in there. Lovely. Keep on that. There. Okay, so that's all we can do with that. That's all we can really do for the time being till I get back that far. There's plenty of things that I can be tipping at. One thing I'm looking at right in front of me here is the all-important earth lead. The most important connection on any vehicle. So since I'm looking at it, I might just have a go at removing it, giving it a clean up. So we'll get an 11/16 like that. Get an 11/16 ready for that. I might go 1/2 inch socket just in case it's good and tight. Remove it, polish it. We'll clean up that with the wire brush and the drill and put it back together. Right, so I'm just going to try the breaker bar because these can be fairly tight. Does it feel like a great fit? Get a better socket. This is 17mm. There we go. I'll have to have a look at it to make sure someone didn't put in the metric. electric bolt in there. We want a good tight connection on that, like I have loads of them anyway if it needs to be. Surprised. Maybe it's just a bit of rust. Hopefully on the head of the bolt. Okay. Looking for a nice clean mating surface here, so sometimes people just bolt them on and don't care, they don't clean. No washer on it anyway, so like that. So that's not clean anyway. That's not clean, and down there is rotten rusty as well. So yeah, that's definitely going to improve everything, from charging to starting and all of that. So it's good and strong. It is good and strong in fairness. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the proper bolt here. This is too long. So I'll take off the seat, it'll give me more room then to get working there with the stuff. I'll come back then when I'm at that. I'm after giving this a good polishing up there, and I'm after giving that a good polishing up down there. So polished up this as well, and I put on a washer and I give that a polishing up, because power is going to have to flow through this, through everything, and we may as well polish up both sides, because resistance is when power is slowed down, and it changes power from being useful, we'll say, to going to where it's meant to heat. So if you're starting a tractor and slow at starting, and you put your hand on one of the battery leads and you can feel it getting hot, well, that's just power being wasted. So that is going to result in your engine spinning slower, and considering the earth is the most important connection in the whole electrical system, a couple of minutes cleaning things up is all it takes. So actually what I want to do there is put a bit of grease on that, because it'll help just stop it from corroding again. That'll be the best thing to do with that. Okay, just a small little smear of it even. Doesn't need to be too much. That will make all the difference in the world. I think the head of this is worn. Is this the one I said was worn a little bit down with rust? So we'll try it 17 mil on it, a bit snugger. Just a bit worn down, but probably sitting out for a while over the years at some point. Twisting a bit there. We don't want that. There was no washer on it, so we would have twisted a lot more around the washer. Okay, so that's good and tight there now. But I have a feeling it'll get in the way a little bit there of the lift arm that comes up, so just push it forward a bit. That should clear it. Now in an ideal world, I'd like to take this clamp off. It looks to be fairly well rusted, so I'll just go and spray that here with a bit of WD and leave it soak. There's no washer on it either, so when I get it off, I will get it off. When I get it off, I'm going to take this connection off as well and do the same thing, because if that's all rusted or painted around, it's going to go affecting the flow. So maybe putting that on was actually a stupid idea, because I need to take off that clamp, realistically speaking. So yeah, let's undo what we did there. But it was okay doing that. Just just to check and make sure everything's okay. It's a good heavy short cable. I do like that about it. The shorter the cable, the more directed it is. If there is resistance in the cable, at least when it's short, it's going to have less of an effect, and it's good and thick and heavy as well. So I'm happy enough with that. But yeah, no, I think we'll try and take this battery clamp off and actually, get her done, get her cleaned properly. Now it's going to be, because there's no washer on that there. I was trying to get the camera to focus. It keeps focusing somewhere else. The nut has gone in a bit too far for me to get much of a grip on it, so it's just twisting. So I'm not going to get a socket on it either. Okay, it is a good tight fit, but I'm not happy enough with that. So what I might do is I might try take the whole battery out, I think. So at least I know all I have to take off now on this side is the clamp. So we'll try that, because I want to shine all of these connections up. Anyone that's followed any of the other videos will see that I do this, especially on the tractor, that's reportedly slow at starting. At least they're tight anyway. Jesus Christ, that's tight. I don't like, well, I was going to say I don't like removing battery clamps if they're too tight, of course, but at the same time, I'd like to get them off, because that terminal looks terribly corroded. So that's just not happy to move. So we will get it. It's not going to be impossible to get that off, but if I end up ringing this, I don't mind. I have plenty more than there. So I don't really like dogging things. Don't like dogging things at all. Jesus Christ, that's fucking tight. The battery's too small. I don't know what amps is on it. It's definitely too small for this tractor. That's not helping either. It's not in it that long anyway. It's just not, in my opinion, strong enough. Big enough anyway, I don't know what amps is in it. So I'm just going to have to get another spanner here and try and, if it involves breaking this, it's going to have to come off, I'm afraid. So I like doing this sort of thing, but unless I take it off there, the whole lot has to come off, that connection included anyway, that's for sure. Right, we'll try here one more time and see if we can make this move. I don't want to go breaking on the battery there either. Okay, it's not going. I'm only going to crack the battery. So we'll try this lad here. I'll take out the battery then. If I have to cut that out, I will. That's going to have to go, lads. There's no two ways about it. Because I'm not happy with not seeing what condition that's in. Considering the battery's too small, this is most likely just going to, it could be one of the things that's causing this to turn that bit slower. Just there we go. That's one way of doing it. So it's not too bad. I'm going to have to strip all that down underneath that tape and see to make sure it's making a good connection. I'd like to take that off as well. Ideally, okay. So we're able to take the battery out now. So I'm going to set the camera up over at the workbench and we'll have a look and see what we can do with that there, yeah, this battery, just looking at the one of my own, like, it's It's a fairly small light car battery, like. It's like something that'll be in like your 1.6 diesel like car. Just like that, tap on a bit more there till I get a bit of purchase out. It's 13mm, but I've tapped on a 1/2 inch because it's a little bit corroded. I turn it around and push against something. It's just not getting in far enough there with that clamp. Yeah, so that's not going to come off without doing severe damage, I think. And I don't want to crack that terminal, because when that happens, you'll have acid flow going everywhere. It's a pity now, I'd like to get that moving. Yeah. We'll try him. So an 18mm. Try and get as much of this. Okay, that's smaller than the one, 17mm or 16mm. 17mm. Okay. Let's see what can this is in. Is it going to help power flow or not? Right. So look, it's easy enough sorted. All we do is give that a quick dart with a drill. Okay, so that's looking a bit better there now. That's what we want it to look like. Right, and then we'll put the clamp here in the, give that little bit there, another touch there first. It's a good, again as I said, it's a good heavy one in fairness. That's definitely not going to cause any problems with the current flowing. Now this bit here should shine up to be coppery as well. Okay, so that's good, getting there. I'm happy enough that that's making a good connection. The terminal is looking really good. I would like to take it off. I don't know, will it even start tapping a little bit? Yeah, brilliant. Now we can get our, oh, yeah, things are looking dirty in there. Brilliant. So this looks to me like it's going to be a tap-on one, and I don't really mind that too much. I wouldn't have it on my own, but to be honest, I'd sooner replace the nut and bolt. But look, tapping on is okay. No, I think I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut that out. Let's do things right. I can also throw this into the shop blaster. That's what I'll do. I'm going to cut, because that's right up there, it's right closed. I'm going to cut right through there, make a new slot. I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to put in a new one. Let's have this, you know, in a way that it can actually be removed with your spanner, because that's just not going to. Well, actually, now that we have it out, we might be able to put it in there. Again, it's the same problem here, I suppose, is trying to get a socket on it. This is why it's important to have your washer on it, because that what the washer will do is it'll push that nut out of it, so you can get a bit of purchase on it. And anyone who's watching these videos regularly will see that, you know, I'm kind of always reaching for the box of washers there, you know, when it comes to these jobs, because they really do serve a purpose. Like, no, transit, I'm not 100% confident. There we go. So we've saved it. Okay, we've saved it. Straight away, a good thick washer is going on that, so that we can get this nut spaced out a bit, so we can get our spanner or washer on. And I might just replace that nut with a better nut, I think, yeah, because it's just a bit chewed up. So I'll come back when I have a washer and a nice nut fitted onto that. Not ideal when the gap is completely tight. Being honest, not ideal. You want a bit of a gap there so that it's actually gripping. It's actually gripping the terminal. As you see, this one was gripping it, but still, you need your little gap there. Lovely. So I like to just file away a bit of that there, so that we can make sure it closes on the terminal, not on itself. This takes minutes, it's lovely work. It's brass at the end of the day. It'll file lovely and it'll shine up. It'll actually look nice. And it's the kind of part that you shouldn't be painting really, like, for fear that the paint will stop a bit of a flow of current. So that's what we're looking like now. So there's a bit of a gap there now. So when that's tightened up, it'll actually grip this. So this is going to go into the shop blaster. But what we'll do before we do that, I'm half thinking I might just get the Dremel on the job here. Or will I just get a bit of sandpaper? I just want to, this will do probably, shine this up a little bit. I do consider this to be maintenance. Once a year or so, take off your battery cables. Give them a clean up. Put a bit of grease on the top there, seal all the elements out of them. Okay, it's kind of lead, so it doesn't take much. That's why it's good to take the gap out of the, to put it, make sure there's a gap in the clamp, because if you go filing or sanding this down, it is going to go wanting to tighten up more on it. And the last thing you want is your clamp fully tightened and still spinning. So it looks like this tractor may have had been jump started a few times with things touching it there. Top of the terminals are a little bit dirty. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly give this a run in the shop blaster and we'll come back then. And I might just clean him up as well, actually. I'm peeling off some of this tape. I can see why he wanted to cover it, because it's coming up as red, as positive, and this is an air cleat. so I probably wanted to cover that up, so, and it was painted over then the black, so I'm going to do a little job on this just to tidy it up, because this was starting to flake and all of that. So that's okay. It doesn't really have to be, you know, this could just be an earth strap, but actually it isn't. You know, the kind of ones that are like braided wires that have no insulation on them, because at the end of the day it's earth, so it doesn't really need it. But what we'll do is we'll tidy this up and make it look a little bit more presentable. Get rid of all of this masking tape. We'll leave the insulation on it, the red insulation, and what I do is I have some automotive kind of cloth tape, and it looks a lot more kind of, it's nice. So I think that's what I'll do. This is the stuff here, it's factory quality, like even right up to what they'd use on cars. So I start it in behind there, pull it good and tight, overlap half each time, or even less, whatever you like. It's nice stuff you can put over wires on if you're making up a wiring loom as well. Just looks a little bit more, a bit nice, and it's not going to go flaking and cracking and all that. I put a little dotted glue then where I cut it off each end, just to stop it from unraveling. Wires on vintage yokes, if you ask me, the less you have of them the better, and if you can hide them, hide them. That's the way I look at it. We've all been in a situation where we're looking at something, there's wires all over it, and it's off-putting. I don't know how this is looking to you, but it's just what I do every now and again when I'm scratching my head, asking myself, how am I going to make something look a little bit more presentable? I cut the back, leave the little thrown-in sticking out, and then we get our little dot of super glue. Put it there, a little bit on it there, fold it over, it should stick. The same with this side here, just where we started at, if I can find it. It's actually sticking really well, so I'm just going to put a little dot of it there where it starts and where it's not going to be seen. And a little bit over there. Okay. Does that look a little bit better than what was there? Not too bad. If I'm being really fussy, I should have put this in the parts washer and just got rid of all of that. So in the shop blaster, just shop blasted all of that off. But look, functional wise, it's going to be 110%, I think. Right, so that's that bit. What do we say we're going to do with this? We'll throw this into the parts, if I call it parts washer one more time, I'm going to throw it into the shop blaster just to clean it all up and bring it back and start assembling it. I may as well, when I'm in there. I'll do them in the vise there with the drill. So come back when I've this done. Okay, so that turned out well. That's looking good, and we cleaned up our threads on our battery cable bolt. As it was a state before. There's the old nut there, right, chewed up. There's a new one, and there's a nice, slightly thicker washer there. So how we rebuild this is we slap that in there. Should fit in one side there, like that. And armature, new washer, and on with your nut. And that washer should keep things out a little bit, out from in there, so you can get your socket on. Okay, so that's good. It's only so good I'd like to clear varnish it to keep it like that. And then we take, this was the connection for there, and that, and I'm seeing something slightly worrying here. No, this is actually threaded. I was wondering where the hell the threads go. So cleaned up the washer there. That's a nice washer. Maybe looks stainless. And I see what's going on here now as well. It's just not lining up properly, is it? So was it this one that was on there? I was fairly sure it was this one. And it was definitely put down through it. Yeah, so we're going to have to grind a bit of this off, I think. Unless it was this way, was it? Yes, it was that way. That's okay. That's alright. In that case, the shop blaster sometimes just leaves them a little bit rough. So what we'll do is let's give it a dart to the drill here, just to bring up the poor man's gold. So that'll do. So looks a lot better now, doesn't it? I like that. That definitely is something I'd like to kind of just varnish up. So I just gave this a shot blast as well. That'll go on there. Won't tighten too much because we'll have to turn it. Right. That's nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to hit that with varnish. May as well. It'll just stop it. It'll make it look nice. Except I won't obviously take this cable off and varnish it for fear it'll stop it making a good contact. So, yeah, I think that's what we'll do with that. And then I can put it off to one side. Right, I'll go and get that. I may as well have that drying. I'm just a big fan of the likes of brass and copper and all of that. I think it just looks good. Makes a nice contrast to the grey and all that. I won't go putting it down in there at all. That's all for just small little smear, but just even where it's going to be seen. 2 seconds of a job, simple as that. It'll just keep the shine on a bit longer, show off a bit of material. That can dry away then. Hopefully it won't look all corroded then like they sometimes do. That's all it takes, just that. Not painting on anywhere other than electrical connection. 22 degrees in the shed here according to the thermometer on the wall, so that shouldn't be very long. So drying. So yeah, that's that. We'll leave that to one side and we'll go and have a look at the next job. So I just start loosening this off. It's a light cable that. So I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to see now what's going on there. I'm going to bring up that lovely automotive kind of tape from here all around there, and I'm going to clean this in place here. I want to cut all that off to make sure, you know, it's well connected and all of that. And with the rest of that off, so that's going to be hit with the shot blaster as well. Looks in good nick there. I'll try and get this lad off here as well in the vise. I may as well do that now. So yeah, I like to spend a bit of time at this. You know, it's a lot of the time it's just, you might have to replace a bolt or a nut or a washer. After that, it's just a bit of work. Enjoyable work at that, if you ask me. You know, materials are in them, and you just have to yeah, you just take the time. So there is a washer on this one, thankfully. Christ. Jesus. Let's get the WD-40 with that spray. Battery cables. I do really like to be able to take them on and off. I have to cut this out, I have to cut it out. The brakes off there, waterproof. You know, like when you think of it, a little 13 mil, half inch, shouldn't be that tight, shouldn't be that hard to take off. Again, I call this kind of maintenance nearly. Once a year, take them off, clean them up. Wow. Christ, that is something else, but it's okay. Oh, there wasn't a washer. Oh, there is a washer. It's actually rusted onto the back of it. So that is all right. So this is going to go into the shop blaster. That lad there is just going to need a rub of the wire brush. As you can see, my wire brushes, I like them when they were worn. I used them for the likes of this. For doing the other bit, put back on your nut. Hold that because I'll probably replace that nut because I can clean it up. Definitely strong anyway. Oh, it's a little bit more serviceable there and a little bit more presentable looking. Okay, and it's definitely good and strong, so I'd be reluctant to, you know, to throw it out. So I'll just give this a quick shot blasting. Well, actually, since there's a lot of dirt on it there, I might just take off the heavy of it here rather than filling up the shot blaster with flakes of paint. Shot blast is great at cleaning in there. Right, that's grand. I'll give the rest of that shot blast. There we go. Quick run in the shot blaster. That is one way of making sure that there's not going to be any resistance through that. So let's move back to the tractor and to the other side of that, the cable that attaches onto that. So I built this back up. I put a washer on there just to help space this out a bit, and that was on there without a washer, so we'll put a washer on that. Right, everything that you expect power to go through, just give it a quick sand. See, there's a nice washer there. Okay, so the same thing there. It takes a second. Bit of grease after this now. And the power will flow through and the grease will stop it from oxidizing, rusting and all of that. Bit of a shine up on it there. So that'll go on there. We can put this back on then. So start to shot blasting up lovely. One thing I will say is in there is still a little bit dirty, right? So one thing about the shot blaster, it's great. You can leave things just a slight little bit rough. So you know what I'm going to do when I get the Dremel? I'm going to get that clean. Just kind of a standard kind of a grinding kind of a head on it. Great tool, and straight away you can start to see the difference there, back to clean metal, right? Takes a second. So this is the positive terminal there, so fits on nice, spins. We have our gap there, so we know that we've plenty of meat then for tightening up. It will get a nice grip on it, right? I want that to go down just nice, and the more it goes down, the more wedges. So that is A1, and then the earth on the other side will go there. So we're going to consider this done. Everything is freed up. You want all of these threads nice and free by hand. Done a good bit of work on this, running in and out. You heard the screech over there when I was loosening for the first time, so little bit of work, costs nothing, just takes a little bit of time. So we're going to go over to the tractor, but firstly I just want to test this battery. I haven't seen what sort of voltage is in it. Anything about 12.5, 12.6, a lot of them are sitting around 12.65 for some reason. So we'll just see. So that's our positive there, and that's our negative. So we'll put up the voltmeter there somewhere where it can stay and you can see it. So that'll do there. That's excellent, savage, unbelievable, yeah. Only problem I have with this battery is I'd say it's definitely a little bit on the lower amps. I don't see it written on it anywhere there. 12 volts. I'd like to see the cold cranking amps on it. So it doesn't matter. I don't think he's going to want to replace the battery. So we'll work with what we have. But for now, we're just going to keep going as we are and trying to get the best out of it, get the most current flowing. Right, we're talking about current here. The voltage isn't a problem. I have nearly 12.9 volts. It's unbelievably good. So we're just concerned about getting flow. So this is going to be a little bit harder to remove. In my opinion, the cable's a bit light. I'm going to use the Dremel to clean this up because the drill is just too heavy and too powerful. So we'll turn on the power to help. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of sandpaper for the rest of that, because the grinder little head is grand, but it does hop around a bit, and that can stop it being very level. After this, that tape is coming off. I want to have a look at that connection, make sure it's good and solid. So this will just level everything up a little bit. Right, so I'm going to get my knives now and cut back of that tape. Drag over my little stool here. Yeah. So get a look in here, see what's happening. See how this is joined. If it's only a compression fit, we'll say, if it's only just squeezed, I'd sooner bring it over to the vise really and make sure it's good and solid. I used to get these, I these got made, I used to get them soldered as well. Looks a bit skimpy for my liking now. It's just not ideal. Really isn't. I'm just looking along here and see, would it be very hard to remove the whole battery lead? Just not great. Dirty as hell inside there. I just don't think it's going to go letting the greatest amount of power through it. I think I have new ones of these over there. I've cut it off, bare a bit more of that back. I've got to figure out if I have enough spare then to actually stretch up. That's definitely not helping. Considering that's going power and everything as well. So look, I'll leave it there for now till I just have a little think and see what I want to do with this. I'm just going to have a look in here at the starter and see what sort of free, we've only kind of, what size is that, 19, I need my 11, I thought that was my 11/16, so I'll just get that quickly. And I'm just going to take off this mushroom air cleaner out here, and we'll see what sort of, if the wire, that battery lead is looking like it's a little bit long, I'll be able to cut off the end of it, and I'll be able to, I'll have a bit left there. Sometimes it can be very tight, so there's no washers in any of that, so I'll put washers on that. So there's that. That's not ideal. We'll cut that. Okay, so let me have a look. I might just lower down the camera here, give you a look at what's going on in there, if we can. Right, so there we go. There is your later type start. Well, not even later off it. Master 35, etc., that kind of thing. So we do have enough there, I think. So yeah, I might just put a 13mm in that and pull this cable to hell, and just see. Take off the cable altogether and try and put a nicer end on it. I think that's the way we'll go. This end looks good, but the end up the battery, just no thank you. Not when you're doing all the other work there and all the other cables. It's just not worth having a big question mark over the end of it there. So that should come off easy enough. Just everything is painted over and it's not really helping. There we go. So that's that. Okay. So there's one connection feeding the field coil of the alternator. That is going to be replaced because it's cracked and it's really light, and that isn't exactly going to be letting a whole lot of power through it. Not the best flow anyway. And there's this. Okay, so two babbles painted, fairly well painted, we'll say anyway. Okay, so we're going to try and whip off this cable altogether. It's going to involve cutting a few cable ties. So we'll go and get the snips there and we'll come back. Put on there by a bracket. I've seen that type of bracket there before. Maybe it's factory. A lot of this actual insulating pipe tubing is like the stuff that came on from the factory. Screw out that bolt there. Actually leave it on if it stays on. And we're going to have to snip a few cable ties. The lights are running down alongside it, so that's no bother. Snip them and we'll put them back on when we have this sorted, because I don't think we're going to be able to sort this in situ. So that bolt has to come out because the wire's going through it. Okay, so yeah, it looks like an original one, right? Not so bad. That's cool. I like them little original bits. Just sit that in there again so we have them safe. Okay, snip, snip, snip. Another one here. So it's just a matter of peeling this away. So yeah, it's going to be hopefully out. The tractor will be able to put it into the vise and do what needs to be done. Like if we keep up the standard that we're at there with the rest of the battery clamps and all of that, I think we're not going to run into any problems at all. Could be a little bit awkward getting it down there, is it? Okay, another nice little bracket there as well. Okay, so it's just a bit of mess in there. So this tube now is fairly, I'm looking here at this. It's interesting now. That's actually moving. That's brilliant news. That's one way of getting this off. If I could get that little pin out, that should pop out. Anyway, that's another one. I'm just trying to feed it up through it there for the time being. It's a little bit stiff. Okay, and back up, back and through. There we go. One positive battery lead. Okay, get this set up, see what we're working with here now. Okay, so let's give a little better inspection here. At least that original tubing was something else, strong as hell. Right. So I'm going to go and look for a better one of them, and I'll come back then if I have something better. Yeah, why did I bother cleaning all that up? The end that goes on that when I Just fit one of them. I think the best thing to do is to cut this off, at least with the battery, this battery clamp, you know, you can screw them in and you can get a good connection. Because that to me just wasn't going to go doing a whole lot, you know. So leave that back. Start peeling back plenty of this. I'll say back to there. So, let's get my Stanley knife. We'll have this much spare then in case this is a little bit narrower. We'll be able to double it over and use that to strengthen it up a little bit. Okay, that's not looking too bad. Yeah, thinking it's copper, all right. Okay. So screw them back completely there just to make sure we'll feel exactly what's happening inside if things are hardly going to be too thick anyway. Okay, so what I might do now is start taking some of these and run them back in, or I think I have sleeves that will go over that, so I'll have a look for them sleeves and I'll come back. We'll be lucky enough for this twist on in one go. Could be a little bit narrow. It shouldn't be, it's just the end of it is a little bit frayed and stuff like that, so it might, there you go. That'll at least allow it to grip on one side properly. So we'll let that in. All going well, the whole lot will go in. And then you have your nice red then to show it's positive. Now if I was any good, I might actually go and look for another one and do the other side. Wouldn't that be the thing to do? Okay, there's another one there. I might just, since I'm going to put it on this side, I don't want this to be seen. So I might just try and nick that off. Have to be careful. I don't want to crush it. And hold it, not really when you think of it. Crushes very, very, very easily. So maybe I'm better off putting it on and actually cutting it off then. Again, it might be a little bit awkward to get it in this way. Get all the wires in because this is the side now that's just a bit frayed. Might have to just cut all that off nice and straight. Don't mind if I have to do that. It's a little bit awkward to get all them kind of straight wires in. This is what I do with these. At least you know then you're making a good connection. Well, that's actually not too bad there. Okay, that's not looking too bad at all. We can cut off that bit of red then. We don't need that. Actually be able to cut the whole lot. Let's make sure it's down good and far. What I might do is tighten him in, have that much done. So at least now when this tightens in, it's not just splitting wires and all that, it's actually going around a nice sleeve. So I like that, I like the idea of that. Yeah, oh that's good. That is brilliant. But, am I going too far ahead of myself? Am I better off putting that on at the end instead of trying to fish it through everything. I am, but probably better off cutting. No, I should be fine. I'll fish it through the other end. I'll do this now. It's better to do this in the vise. So cut that off nice and neat there. So it's fairly tapped in. I'll cut it nice and neat. There's one or two stray lads there that are moving, so just tighten this in now. Just tap them in another little bit. This should give a more equal kind of a squash to everything in there. Especially when the cable's so light. Right, turn it this way. I'll just it's crazy the improvement you can make to these, like by doing very, very little. When you see the state of the wires and stuff at the start, you know. You can leave a little bit of that there. Last tighten up. Really nice tight feel on that. And then finally you can grab it there somewhere where we're not going to go doing damage. I'll even just leave it sit there. Just try and kind of widen. Widen the kind of still very, like it's a narrow cable, like, but we're definitely after improving that, I think. Only thing I'll do is I'll go and slap on a washer on that. Just helps keep it spaced out a bit. So new battery clamp. And my washers are right there beside us. We'll pick one there quickly for that. Lovely. Bit of sandpaper. Anything at all, just give it a quick shine up. Electricity always finds the path of least resistance. So it's just basically saying that it'll go whatever way is the easiest. So you got to make it easy. You got to pave the way for it. So if it doesn't like flowing through this, it'll flow through the bolt and into the clamp. So you may as well make it want to flow through this as well, considering this is going to be between your clamp and your bolt. So simple. Take one side of your nut, give it the same treatment, quick little rub. That was not better than the messing that was going on there, and the question of I wonder how strong the connection is. That was another one I was going to use, but then again you are relying on putting it in the vise and stuff like that, and to be honest with you, I really prefer to solder these. So at least with this, it's solid. You probably towed a tractor with it. That solid connection, right? So we'll work on this other end now. Bring over the drill and we'll just give that a shine up. Okay. This end again is just a little bit, if you ask me, on the light side, but should be okay, considering the work we're doing to sort out the bad connections. It's a bit awkward there now. Okay, so look, that's the way copper should look, right? So that's that. So might go now and just thread this back. Don't think we're taking off the starter, are we? Yeah, I might start threading this back through and we'll see how we get on. Before I go try and put it back on, I said I'd actually tidy up this with this tape, cloth tape. Even just from this bit of the original insulation tubing. Yeah, that's what it is. Right. Since we did a nice neat job on it there, may as well continue. Okay, get this to start. Okay. So start underneath. I think that's under. Yeah, that's underneath. And just bring it up underneath there a few times. Start overlapping then back. And a bit of tension on it there. Let's run it up over that because this is kind of, it's where there's any metal in it. It's a bit of rust showing on it there, so let's just run it around there a few times and back there, just making a bit of a step up to it. Lovely, and we'll cut off. Don't want to run too much because it'll just end up looking real thick there. Okay. Bit of super glue, that just stops it unraveling. That'll do. And that's all underneath there. So how we're looking now is like that. So I think that's definitely an improvement over the questionable kind of thing that was there before. Yeah, I'm very surprised that that's a factory cable, as much as it does have a lot of the factory insulating. Maybe it is. Anyway, it's definitely going to be improved now anyway. Just going to check it for resistance and see what sort of resistance is it putting out. I suppose this is something I've never actually done before. But look, with chance you can see, maybe it'll show up in the figure. Give us an idea then if things are good or bad, or what are they? Okay. So there's no resistance in that, so that means the connections are perfect. 0 ohms, well, if I held it on long enough to go down to 0. Exactly, I push it very hard against it. So we're ready to fish this back through all the little parts and thread it into place. So at least I can say with confidence now that it's good. It's a very stiff cable there now. It definitely could be the factory one. It's been in the shape for a long time. Nice. So what do you think so far of the work on these cables and all of that? Do you think it's a bit over the top? Do you think it's good? Do you think you might try it yourselves? Interested to see what you think. Just something I do myself most of the time, as you can see. Costs nothing, just a bit of time. I think that went around this little patch here. Definitely looks a lot better from here looking down. I think that definitely looks a lot tidier, and if you're looking at that there, you know straight away it's positive because of P and the red, and we have a nice job done on the earth as well. So yeah. Okay, so it went up underneath there. I'll go this side of the cable. The thinner cable can go underneath. Cable tie all of that back into place, and it. I think it came up through here, under the clutch pedal and around. Like that. I don't think I cut off enough end of the cable to be causing problems. Really is stiff. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. We'll sit the battery back there as well, just to get an idea of where that needs to be. We'll actually attach the cable, the lead to the battery, and then we'll work out then how much we have to play with. So I put the cable this side of that bracket there, and that's allowing it to clear the brake rod there as well. You can see where it was rubbing before there, so I'm keeping that all out of harm's way. Now I still have to do a bit of work on this bracket, so when I come to doing this, taking the free play out of that, I will, what will I do with it? I was going to say I was going to cut it, but I won't. I'll try and bend it if it's not too heavy. It shouldn't be. I'll mark it and I'll bend it just above that, and just bend it inwards, and that'll act as a bit of a channel for that. It might keep it a bit steadier. And yeah, keep it out of harm's way, and then I can start cable tying all the wires. But I'm going to wait to do that until I'm happy with everything and a little further on in the project, because wiring is going to be a bit of an issue on this one. Yeah, it's going to be, that's the one going to the horn. Yeah, that's going to be relocated. So yeah, and I'll have to take out this as well and put in a nice bolt. I just hope that it hasn't destroyed the threads. I should be able to retap that if I can. I have to. So that is that. I can put back on my earth, I think. Thinking I'll leave it off for the time being because there's no rush on that, and I will most likely be doing a bit more work down on the likes of that knuckle down there. So yeah, I've taken the battery out again, but at least we know we have our earth and our positive sorted, and hitched back up. So it's there, it's back up. I want to just make sure it's clearing the throttle rod there as well. It's coming down there. Because it was actually going in behind it there, and that could have been causing all issues with there with the throttle rod. And this is a bit of the old rod for starting it, so with the original starter. So I'll take that off because that's not ideal. So air filter will be coming off, tank will be coming off, exhaust manifold will be coming off. That's too worn, it's rattling the exhaust around too much. Some old bits of wiring that was going to the voltmeter. Yeah, they're bared, so I'll be taking off any of those old bits of wires that aren't needed. Yeah, so that wasn't going to be doing a whole lot. This will be shortened and routed out of the way. It's coming from the key ignition. We'll work all that out as we go along. So let's see where that wire is going down there. Okay, so it's just literally little. There you go. So that can all come out. Right, all that kind of stuff isn't needed. And we might reuse that bracket then to go tidying things up like this wire. When we shorten it, we'll put it into that bracket there. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That will tidy everything up.